What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Tuesday, May 6, 2025. It's going to be game one of round two between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. So, head coach by Kris Knoblauch are the Edmonton Oilers 48-29-5 and regular season 4-2 as they were able to get that victory in the first round. Let me look at it on the side of LA. Again, they were up 2-0. They won 4 games after that, did Edmonton. And just like that meme that you see with the devil that knocks on the door with the blood that came for Jim Hiller and the LA Kings, man, that challenge really hurt them. And 3 years in a row now. If you want to be a recipient of getting rid of the 2-3 format, that's probably one of the series that you look at. But let's get into it. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Corey Perry with Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard. RNH, Evander Kane, Zach Hyman with Jake Walman and John Klingberg. Adam Henrique, Trent Frederick, Connor Brown, Mattias Janmark with Sully Podkolzin and Victor Arvidsson with Brett Kulak and Ty Emberson. Calvin Pickard is going to be getting the start in net tonight. And for Bruce Cassidy and the Vegas Golden Knights, again, they were 22-10 in the regular season, 4-2. They beat the Minnesota Wild in 6. They got past that top line that was hellacious of Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy. But it's Jack Eichel, William Karlsson, Mark Stone with Braden McNabb and Shea Theodore. Tomas Hertl, Brandon Saad, Keegan Kolesar is going to move to the second line with Noah Hannafin and Zach Whiteclaw, Nick Wall, Ivan Barbashev, Riley Smith, Brett Howden, Tanner Pearson, Victor Olofsson. Olofsson will move back to the fourth line with Nick Hague. Alex Pietrangelo, I believe, is out with an illness, so it'll be Caden Korchak on the back end of defense with Adin Hill. So when I look at this series in totality and my initial thoughts, again, we know about Edmonton and LA. And Edmonton, that's pretty much the free space in your bingo card, getting past the LA Kings, whether it's fair or unfair. You can't have Jim Hiller play your top forwards and the top 6 that many lines and not spread it on the bottom 4 because they're going to get gassed. They're going to give up goals. If you have bad challenges and bad coaching on top of that, it's a recipe for disaster. And the Edmonton Oilers took advantage of that big time. But the Oilers now don't have that masterful penalty kill that was otherworldly. Remember somewhere around, and I'm spitballing here, about 38 of 40, 36 of 40 in the mix of it. They could not get scored on. They were so good there. Well, that's not the case anymore. Power play numbers still about top 6, top 7. Slight dip, but they're good there. But the penalty kill not the same. And even if they get past Vegas, and I know we're tired of having this conversation, but I still have to do it. And between now Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, they're going to start Pickard. But is Skinner and Pickard, and stop me if you heard this 4 years ago in the same side, is it still good enough to win it all? Because I just don't think so. Ekholm is going to start this series on IR. Mattias Ekholm is probably one of the best defenders that Edmonton has. He starts on IR. He's not going to be available until the Edmonton Oilers get at least to round 3, if they can get there. Maybe even past that. Maybe into round 3 that he'll be available. So it's going to be a long time they'll be skating without him. But for Stuart Skinner's numbers in the regular season, 26, 18, and 4, 281, 896 save percentage and 3 shutouts. So the other stuff is good, but the save percentage is not. Calvin Pickard in 36 games, 22, 10, and 1. So better average on that side. Goals against average slightly lower, 271, 900 save percentage. No shutouts, but Pickard's numbers have been better. And when you look at it on the other side for Adin Hill and Bruce Cassidy's squad, 50 games played, 32, 13, and 5, 247, 906, and 4 shutouts. Good in the regular season, not so good in the playoff series against Minnesota. If I have to bet on a bounce back, I think Adin Hill should be able to do so because they chose Adin Hill over Logan Thompson, who was in the midst of a 1-1 game here in Game 1 in between Carolina and Washington. They need his bounce back. I figured that they're going to be able to do so because we got to turn Ilya Samsonov. 29 games played, 16, 9, and 4, 282, 891, and 2 shutouts. Shutouts are good, but I don't think they're going to even go to Samsonov. Just the same way when I talked to Alec a little bit earlier, I don't think Paul Maurice, even if Sergei Bobrovsky gives up a 5 spot in games 2 and games 3 against Toronto, I don't think they have any comfortability going to Vitek Vanacek. So goaltending is something that we're going to have to watch for in this series. I expect the bounce back for Adin Hill. But if I have to guess today, we might see a bloodbath as far as goal score. We might be seeing a 6-5 type of game. if things go the way that they have been for these two teams. And let's be honest with ourselves. In between Winnipeg and the Dallas Stars, do we see the Edmonton Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights, maybe more so Edmonton, even though they made the Cup Finals last year, got all the way to Game 7, do we see them as more of cannon fodder against the Stars? And again, I'm already assuming the Jets are going to get eliminated. I shouldn't do that, but that's where it is. But are we assuming that the Edmonton Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights will be cannon fodder for the Stars? Because the Stars have already beaten Vegas Golden Knights before in Game 7. You get to Peter DeBoer in Game 7, that's church at that point. It's kind of where I'm leaning, but you got to let me know what you think. I'll jump in a moment when we start the game. We're going to begin the anthems in a moment. I've gone through the preamble as far as the pregame notes. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to be on the top line together. I don't think Kris Knoblauch is going to take them out of that way through the rest of this playoffs. So the next couple of games tonight, we're going to start in the Fortress at T-Mobile Arena. As I always like to say, I was there prior to COVID when the Red Wings scored the game-winning goal in overtime with Anthony Mantha. So I've been here before. I've seen the show. I've seen the festivities. These two teams in the Pacific know each other quite well, and Myers will do the festivities as far as the Canadian national anthem, and then we will get do that they usually get for the United States anthem. I forget his name, but he's got some dulcet pipes. Let me pull up the NHL scoreboard in particular on ESPN because Alec is calling at that Yinzer Alec. You can follow him on the X space in between Washington and Carolina. And that one's going to OT. Logan Stankoven, the former Star, has the game-tying goal in the third. The shot attempts at one point he told me was 88 to 820, something like that. That's shot attempts, but for Carolina it was all over Washington, but the score is 1-1. We'll monitor that, and we'll monitor the NBA scoreboard as well. The Tigers are not in action today. They were rained out. They'll play their doubleheader on Thursday. They got a single game. And Indiana won again, 120-119 over Cleveland. I think Cleveland's in trouble. I mentioned that to Alec when we started that Cleveland needed to win that second game. They did not. 36-21 outpoint in the fourth. And they're up 2-0 on Cleveland. Kenny Atkinson won Coach of the Year. Really think it should have been J.B. Bickerstaff. So Carnell Johnson is boss. He's the one that does the U.S. anthem the other way for Vegas. We'll get more in particular for the NBA scoreboard once we get a moment. We get through the anthems. I'll give you the play-by-play for Edmonton and Vegas, and then we'll go through across the league. I'll try to pace myself because it should be another solo assignment. I did get some comments back and forth with Cooper Hopkins with sending me some shots at University of Washington. He's trying to work in between some baseball and some football, probably spring practice, things like that. He's going to try to work his way onto the air. I don't want to say anything official until I know for good, but good to see him doing all that stuff. I imagine at some point we're going to hook up here in round 2, work some duo games together, figure out the updates for both of us because I'll have some more information for you as far as what's going on with me after late July. But I've already spitballed with Alec Nava that we're going to be covering the Stanley Cup Finals together. That one when it gets set in June. Cooper probably will join in for a couple of those trios there. He has been able to cover all of it in between Seattle and LA as he's had to move between back and forth, but Alec and I will at least be together for the Stanley Cup Finals. And I'm assuming we'll probably link back up more so in round 3 as well. It's first time for me really to get a couple of solo games back from house sitting for about 16 days. So back in the environment to be able to get everything to you. So I want to get the pipes warm and everything else for the solo chances. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'll jump back in with you as well. Wednesday, I spent some time with the missus. Thursday is going to be Carolina, Washington, game 2. It'll be game 2 between Dallas and Winnipeg on Friday, and then I might bounce back to this series. I think game 3 at that time, in between the Oilers and Vegas on Saturday. Those would be my plans. So right now, I'm going to use the Sportsnet feed, but Jack Michaels admittedly does make my ears bleed. I know it's probably disingenuous for Oilers fans, but if we do have anyone else joining that wants to join, and I'll go back to the ESPN feed. I'll rock with Sportsnet for the interim. So we're going to get set for puck drop officially. Got the recorder out here. We've got through our preamble. I'm taking Vegas to win this series, but take that with a grain of salt because both my Stanley Cup picks are already out between the Bolts and the Avalanche. But we're underway now with the mustard gold at T-Mobile Arena as we try to play this in off the backhand for Wild Bill, William Karlsson. Send it back to Braden McNabb. Again, no Alex Pietrangelo. One-timer partially fanned on. And Pickard has got a leapfrog, a Jack Eichel one-timer. And we'll get an ozone draw already here for Vegas. Didn't really get all of it, did Jack Eichel, but you imagine doing stone. What a pinball off of Evan Bouchard as well. Pickard was able to make the save. It did look unconventional of sorts. So last game was a 5-4 in between the Leafs and the Cats. We'll see. We're probably going to get something similar to that between these two teams. Edmonton does not generally do well in game ones, especially against a team like Vegas. So you'd have to imagine Vegas at least splits at worst at home to start things. And then we'll see what Edmonton can do after that. Leon Draisaitl. Here's the drop now. Connor McDavid with a wrister and an easy glove save. No traffic for Aiden Hill, as both goaltenders already have their first save of the game. And again, they did show it. Nick Hague, Caden Korchak will be the last line because Alex Pietrangelo has an illness. I believe he is listed day to day, so it's not going to be any long-term effects there for Alex Pietrangelo, the former St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup champion, but it's something that we will watch. They bumped Zach Whiteclaw to the second line alongside former Flame Noah Hannafin. So RNH taking out of this draw. Evander Kane wants to have some words on what they want to do. If he can roll the arm over to RNH for a shot, he chooses to pull back instead. And this will go to Brandon Saad. Touch pass for the former Blue. He got that buyout. Went to the Vegas Golden Knights for the rest of the year. And they'll have to decide if they want to hold on to him. Here's a chance as Pickard misplayed it out of the goal crease with the Edmonton Oilers and RNH able to stick that one out. Zach Hyman will be the first to get to it if Aiden Hill didn't elect the hold, but he made the smart play, grabbed it with the stick, held it with the glove hand. So they're showing the Edmonton Oilers. Brown, RNH, Henrique, and Frederick combined for 4 goals and 4 assists in Game 6 as the Kings absolutely got demolished. And I would say nobody feels worse than I do for Darcy Kemper. He did everything he could. His team and his coach, really, his coach more so than anything else, let him down. You got to jump those lines. Keegan Kolesar off the spin and throw and gets around Jake Walman. Opportunity now for Tomas Hertl off the stick lift with Kolesar as RNH still trying to work with this thing to the left side red line. 18:35 left to go in the opening frame. One shot on goal apiece. One of the Golden Knights is down on that same side of the ice, but we press on. We finally get a whistle now. That was very, very late. Tomas Hertl got clipped on the left ear, and Bruce Cassidy looking on the iPads to see if they're going to get anything here for RNH. Because I'm looking at it, we got a stick, right to the left ear. And that has to be a penalty against RNH. We'll see if the refs actually call it or if they missed it. But that was definitely a high stick. So this one's under review for a 2 or a 4. Hertl got cut. He's got blood. That should be a 4-minute double minor against the Edmonton Oilers at 18:27. So I'm looking at it again off the lift itself, and RNH, you got Hurdle clean. So this is going to be a double minor. There was Hurdle on blood. He goes for the stick lift, gets the puck, he gets nothing but cheek and ear. So RNH gives up a double minor on a high stick, and the Vegas Gold Knights are in business. 18:27 in the first. They got a 4-minute power play. So if they score here prior to the first 2 minutes, as the fans issue shame, they like to do that at T-Mobile Arena. This is a good opportunity where Vegas has got to get one of these. Tell me what you think. I know there's probably a lot of Edmonton fans in here. I want to know, what's your thoughts? Can Edmonton win this series with Vegas with the tandem of Pickard and Skinner? You got to give me your honest thoughts. As this goes back in around the end boards, playoff penalty kill is 16th. That is dead last in the mix of it. So 60%, not very good. 26% there for the Vegas power play side. So Vegas now trying to make this outstretched pass from McNabb. Here is Kolsar. This will fall to the glove hand. That was Olofsson out there with Janmark in particular, looking for Jack Eichel. And Pickard will hold. The 2 minutes expired in this first. John out here with you on this solo call, T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. I will be back as early as Thursday for Game 2 between Carolina and Washington. We'll monitor that score once we get a commercial break. All zone draw. This one won Shea Theodore. We'll get it back now to Jack Eichel. There's a back pass near the right side dot. Goes right back to Jack. Shea. One more time. High slot. Wrister scores. Right in through the traffic. Calvin Pickard never tracked it. And Vegas still has another opportunity on the power play. It's Wild Bill, the first of the celebration line. So William Karls gets the screen and Shea Theodore's shot, gets the goal. And this is already a power play goal for Vegas. And they start their second of the double minor. They scored early enough. So William Karlsson from Shea Theodore makes it 1-0 VGK. And that's kind of the feeling that I had going into this. Does not mean that can't go down 2-0 and win 4 more straight games. It's going to be much harder to do against Vegas than it would be against the LA Kings, as Edmonton sends it all the way down. They've already conceded one on the power play. Here's the former Flame and Noah Hannafin to Brandon Saad. Nice move off the backhand. They get set up. Drop here for Hannafin near the right side dot. We'll use the right bumper. Spinning behind the net. Here is Hurdle. One more touch pass from Hannafin. Hurdle lost it in between his skates. Look out! It's a 2-on-1. Short-handed. It's Janmark. Pass across. Never got there. Went into the seats, might have bounced off a Vegas stick. Janmark knows better. He should have shot that puck. 16:50 left to go in the first. And a 2-on-1 shorthanded winds up with nothing. Not even a shot on goal. And Janmark had all day to shoot. He just did not pull the trigger. If he has to do that over again, he should be going at least right corner if he goes short side, if anything else. So offensive opportunity off the draw, won by Edmonton. They'll consent to clear. And there's Victor Olofsson to Jack Eichel. Top line already out there again. Eichel's pass, too hard and off the front of the skate for Stone. Settle back down for Aiden Hill. So Vegas did score once on this double minor. They've done at least their job on that point. Shea Theodore gets the entry himself. Theodore splits the D, and he gets a shot in on Pickard, who makes the save. Shea Theodore started that from his own end from 200 feet. Still split the Oilers defense. Got around Brown. Got across the logo. Blew past Nurse and Bouchard. That was pitiful defending from the Oilers. And they almost got burned. 16-22. Tomas Hertl. And off the tie-up, this one won by VGK. High slot, good spot to shoot. Good save, Pickard with the left pad. That could have been 2-0. Hertl, smart back pass for Theodore. One more to Jack near the right dot. Vegas looking dangerous again. On the backhand, Stone, what a setup. Fired high, this time from Olofsson. Again, no Dorofeev, a little undisclosed. I think upper body. That's what I have to guess. I don't think Dorofeev's going to miss a ton of time, but it is what it is. It's a 30-goal scorer that is out of Vegas' lineup. They do have depth, but Dorofeev has been excellent. Another one of those ones for Kelly McCrimmon's squad. When Vegas has been so good, you got to be able to draft well late, and Dorofeev has been excellent. He's not going to be available here for a few games. RNH desperately wants out of that prison in the penalty box. Here's Eichel off the drive. Eichel sets it up in front for Hertl, and this will be slammed down the ice, so Vegas settles for one on their double minor. Shea Theodore got it through for Wild Bill. It's 1-0 for Vegas. 15:35 left to go in the first. McNabb, little outstretch. It's all Vegas right now, as this one will be knocked up toward the left side. Dot settle back down. Here for Kolesar. Kolesar, excellent work. He goes into the second line now because of no Dorofeev. Mark Stone keeps it in. Kolesar, turnaround shot. And all Pickard can do is brush it to the left side red line. Forecheck for Vegas and relenting. Kolesar with it again. Toward the left side red line goes Stone. Stone now back to Keegan Kolesar. William Karlsson already got one. A clever back pass. This goes off the right pad of Calvin Pickard. As this will go to the left side red line. Slowed down now for McNabb. All Vegas in this first 5 minutes. Be intercepted right in at the line. Trying to get a partial break. There was Edmonton. Slam to the boards. That was Braden McNabb finishing his check. And against, I want to say Victor Arvidsson. I had to point blank myself there for a moment. Didn't want to get the name wrong. McNabb crushes Arvidsson as we get a commercial half and half. Good start here for VGK. Got to feel pretty good about what they've been able to show here. Rowan says, "What's going on? How are you doing, my friend?" I imagine one of his notes says that the tandem of the goaltending of Edmonton can be enough to get past Vegas. But right now, offense has to show pulse. Here's a tie-in off the back side of the post off the draw. I believe that was Trent Frederick who rang the pipe. Nick Waugh trying to get it out now. Turnaround chance for Evander Kane. Good work there for Nick Waugh between a phone booth. Gets it out. Vegas now for 1-on-3 takes a hit to try to make a play. Evan Bouchard will pick it up. Evan Bouchard's got a space better here with Darnell Nurse. As this will be RNH now toward the right side red line. Working behind the net. Here's Evander Kane. This goes off the outside of the mesh. Step up now for Brett Kulak. Sends it around the end boards here for Evander. He gets taken to the boards by Whitecloud. And RNH puts it around the net again. Finish the hit there for Ivan Barbashev, former Blue. Off the backboards, Aiden Hill able to stop it with his right pad as it took a fortuitous bounce. And settled toward the left side, red line. Evan Bouchard, Bruce Cassidy's squad, and Kris Knoblauch's squad both take changes. As the shot board now reads 5-3. Have not got any commercial stoppages yet. Draisaitl inside out toward the right dot. He's thefted off the stick lift. Here is Karlsson. Already got one. Karlsson off the outside. Bounces off of Pickard's left pad as he makes the save. Good outstretched pass out of the own end. Draisaitl trying to feed it up the gut for McDavid. That one's read by Eichel. Leave for Stone. Stone trying to throw it off to Karlsson. But Pickard able to pick up the bounce. He'll elect to hold. And we'll step aside. 13-13. Frederick hits the bar. Otherwise, it would have been a 1-1 game.
It's now even easier to create your own unique bet. You can choose any market, like this. Online, totals, home runs. With a 10-game parlay, the choice is truly yours.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's been quite the start to the series for Thomas Hertel. This was a warm-up. Luckily, he's got the box from puck off the crossbar, hits him near the mask and face area, and then he does get hit in the face by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the double minor. The high sticking penalties turn into a goal for Mark Stone, and so far, I'm not sure he wanted to do this. Green Jackets put the hurt 8-2 up to Nate Hertel in his name.
So let me make a correction. According to ESPN, I saw it was Carlson on the Sportsnet side of the goal, but they've given it to Mark Stone. Carlson gets the assistant alongside Theodore with the secondary. Shot board is now 6-6, 12:55 left to go in the first. So Vegas still the power play goal as we know of. Here's an opportunity. Hyman try to join it off the rush as he's throwing the left corner boards. Here's a good pass out in front and whistled wide of the right post. As this will be picked up now here for Zach Hyman off the pin. Frederick back out there. He's just delivering cross checks. Vegas doesn't even have the puck, and this will be sent back down the ice. This will not be blown dead, so we will press on. So it'll be Kulak and Emberson. Kulak now with an outstretch from 100. Lets it up for Bouchard. This is toward the right wing side. Working them behind the net now off the spin is Frederick. Lost it for a moment. This goes to the right side boards and just out of the zone. Edmonton's got to check back up now. And alongside for Nick Hague. Hague's pass. Picked up now for Korchak. Now for Ivan Barbashev. Barbashev lost it toward the right side boards while trying to find it. But this will be with the road white jerseys and mixing the blue striping. Risker saved by Hill. Cancel off near the left post. Barbashev, good feed there for Riley Smith. He's on the edge of his ship. He'll shuffle it into the right side red line. And I'm going to say that he did not gain the red when he tossed it in. This should be a offensive zone draw for the Oilers.
It's never ordinary. Bet 6-5.
Well, you've got two detectives, one island, and a sea of secrets. Ride the crime wave at St. Pierre. All episodes available for free on CBC Kit and Resolve. First Street. So a bit of an unforced error that time by a veteran. And Riley Smith.
11:41 left to go in this first ozone draw loss for Connor McDavid. Barbashev, Wass, Smith, Hannafin, and Whiteclaw. That forward line wants to be able to get off the ice. They were to get a respite there from that previous face-off. As it's 11:25 left to go on the first. Shot board now 7-6 Edmonton. So they've had probably the better stretch of the last 3 minutes, where Vegas blitzed them early and then scored with that double minor. We just got one on the man advantage as RNH was in the box. Mark Stone got credit for that power play according to ESPN. I'll double check to see if that changes. Off the drop, trying to look for Corey Perry and alongside McDavid and Draisaitl. Interesting combination. Jack Eichel. Here's a great feed out of the open. Scores! Stone! That is gorgeous! Off the drop, he waited for the man to fall and then smoked that thing to the left side corner. Perfect set of eyes, and Edmonton's in trouble. 2-0 VGK. That's a sick goal for Mark Stone. What a way to be patient there. So right at 10:50 was the goal. Stone off the drop from Eichel makes his man miss off the drop, and then smokes that thing bottom left corner. So Stone has got a pair. That's his fourth of the playoffs. Eichel's fifth already on the assist. Here's Hyman. Edmonton needs this next goal. Rister, good save, Aiden Hill near the left post. Kulak waiting. Now Bouchard back to Kulak. There's Darnell Nurse with a wrister. As this one will go all the way back down. So right at the 9:03 marker, Stone from Eichel. And that was absolutely gross. Picked up here for Bouchard now behind his own net. Edmonton really needs to score here as Vegas has given them the business at home. Keegan Kolsar off the drop. Here's a pickup for Brandon Sato. Gain the red and throw it in. Nothing Calvin Pickard's going to be able to do, especially when Mark Stone's got that sort of poise. That's one of the prettiest goals that I've seen in the postseason. Hyman now for Connor Brown. We'll shovel it in, try to gain the line for the right side red line. Frederick pinned against the boards now, lost his stick in the process. This might be a penalty against Vegas. Barbashev, they might have said he got clipped according to Jack Michaels. Barbashev checking his face to look for blood there. And all four of the Zebras are tied up there with Barbashev just to see what they can get. If Edmonton gives up another penalty, we might already call this game. We still got 9:18 left to go in the first.
Ever feel like no matter what you got, somebody's got more? Somebody's got more than enough. More spend, more places to go. And just when you think there couldn't possibly be any more, you realize there's more to life than more. The original thing is this thing.
Drinking more summer with Tim's new Oreo Mocha Ice Caps. With Oreo in every sip. Perfect for that summer romance you long for. Or that summer fling with who you long for. Either way, drink in summer with Tim's new Oreo Mocha Ice Caps.
During our 4 days of review, we asked the tough questions like whether our F-150 looked as good as an F-150. Right now, there's a big deal when you lease this F-150 for $110 a week. This deal won't last forever.
Breaking news is a surprise contender in the marathon.
All right, you tell me. I know it's one game. I don't want to speak too much in existence. It's a 7-game series, but this game might already be done. And that's saying a lot for the Edmonton offense because I know that they're going to find some goals, but I don't think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to stop at 2. That's my point. Edmonton might get 3, but I think Vegas could probably get 5 the way that they're playing today. We could find another similar score line to what we saw last night in between the Leafs and the Panthers. That's already a perfect start for Vegas. They just slapped the Edmonton Oilers around. As I'm looking back into the replay that we just got from Sportsnet and CBC, I see Trent Frederic's stick clip Ivan Barbashev. I'm looking to see now if there is another penalty to be called or what they wanted to go to. They're going to say no. So the double minor was already criminal enough. This is Draisaitl and Carlson on the draw. It's a D-zone draw, so we stick with 5-on-5. That's a fortunate break there for Edmonton because this probably should have been called. So Will Carlson able to get this draw. Jack Eichel now. And through a phone booth makes the pass. It was a feather. Eichel's going to be able to get it back. Stone stays on side. This one deflected. Bounces off of Draisaitl. And now Edmonton looking to take a 3-on-2 the other way. Here's a drop that you're trying to pick up now for down the seam. That does not work for the defense. Goes back now for Jake Walman off the tip, and this is wide. And behind the net of Aiden Hill. Draisaitl probably should have shot that one. He had a couple for Janmark and for Draisaitl. Should have let it go. Goal scorers that are not accustomed to passing up shots. This will be shoveled back by Shea Theodore. Try to hold that line in Vegas and conceivably going to get to this puck first. as this will be tangled up and alongside Connor McDavid. Good step through there for Hyman for a moment, but this will be recollected for Nick Hague. Trying to take this one right to left. Zach Whitecloud will send it in. Pickard will stop it behind his net. The shot board again does read 8-7 Edmonton, but I don't see anything that dictates with my 4 eyes from where this game is. Saad almost gets the steal off of one-on-one. Edmonton try to take this one right to left. They need to get something going here. Hague gets all tied up with RNH. He spun back around the end boards here. Here for Kolsar. Takes a hit there from RNH. Still has the puck. Whitecloud banks it in off the side. Toward the left wing side. Kolsar lost it for a moment, and Saad is offsides. Alec Nava is going to be a happy man. I looked at it the other way. The team that should have won has won it. Jacob Slavin, unassisted, his second to the playoffs, beats Logan Thompson, who was terrific, 31 of 33. Freddie Anderson only faces 14 shots. That is not good enough even for a team that looks to capitalize on defense for the Washington Capitals. They got to play a much better game. Hurricanes probably got 105 shot attempts in the mix, but the Caps just didn't do enough, and they lose that one 2-1. I did say the Canes, I think they'll find their way to their Eastern Conference Finals, but again, my brackets have already busted because I think the Canes are just the better team as far as the shots. Caps a little too much opportunistic stuff, but you think they're going to play better here in Game 2. They have to because that wasn't good enough. Sent around the inboards now for Aiden Hill as this will be picked up. Now towards center ice. Here's an opportunity off the drop for Olofsson. Save for Pickard as this gets shoved in the corner. Jake Walman now trying to find it. This is a good forecheck now for Olofsson. Almost gets the steal and away for Connor Brown. Now they couldn't gain the blue line side and went just off sides. Have to flip it around the inboards. Opportunity now to start again for the former Red Wing and Shark, Jake Walman. Coughs it up. 2-on-1. Pearson cross pass. Kulak probably saves a goal with that back check. Excellent hustle. 6:30 left to go. That was an awful pass by Walman. And Edmonton, I know they're going to be more homeborn on the side for CBC and Sportsnet, especially for Jack Michaels, but they got to play much better. Here's a wrister. Eichel, this one goes high, just hits the glass. Picked up now for Stone. Already got 2. He's on a first period hat trick watch. Shoveled aside by Pearson. As he stayed out there, he's going to hustle to the bench. Edmonton will do the same, and they'll take an extended timeout a la Victor Hedman usually for the Tampa Bay Lightning, as we got 5:55 left to go in the first. Vegas fans have plenty of reason to be happy because they look very good. Picked up now by Bouchard. Here's a race across for McDavid. He gets hit hard toward the right side board. That's going to bring the crowd to their feet again as if they already are. Picked up now for McDavid. On the right side boards, Draisaitl, half spin, pirouette, sends it around the opposite way for Corey Perry, still using the end boards. Here's a drop, back in behind for Corey Perry, leaves to Draisaitl. Go back outside the embankment again. Take the slap pass, Bouchard, Connor McDavid, not giving up on the play, one-handed, almost brushed down, still with it. He can't get it to Perry. Perry let it go, rim around the inboards again. There for Bouchard. A lot of puck possession here for Edmonton, but no shots. As Carlson pinned against the boards. Got a shooter here. This one way wide, as this will just be kept in by Edmonton, but they're not going to be able to get to it. They're exhausted as well. And Carlson will make the smart play. He'll just pass it out of the zone. 4:50 left to go in the first. A pair of goals for Mark Stone. The last one was beautiful. From Eichel to Stone off the drop. He makes Edmonton defense fall, waits him out, pots it in the bottom left corner. You just don't get any better. Aiden Hill. Shovel is to the left side red line. Edmonton trying to find something with Hyman off the spin and turn. Big hit. Henrique taken down. Traffic at the net. Edmonton trying to fight there with Podkolzin. Now Arvidsson wants to get a piece of Vegas. And Edmonton's starting to throw hands against Nick Hague and Olofsson. I don't know if that's the right point in this game. They need to settle down and play hockey more so than anything else. They're playing right into Vegas's hands. They're not going to be intimidated by that. So Arvidsson and Podkolzin at the net. And Hill makes the save.
We don't know. A century. 100 years. It's a story written by humans. Everyone, every dealership, every family that chose us.
And as things get chippy, I think Edmonton has the wrong game plan here. You got to park that bus as far as the physicality stuff and go back to trying to score some goals. Because you got worked in this first pretty good. So Pacers 120-119, a 36-21 comeback in the fourth, as we mentioned. Miles Turner 23, Neesmith 23, excellent shooting 8 of 17, 8 of 13 respectively. Thomas Halliburton 7 of 11, 19 points efficient, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 13 assists for Andrew Nemard. My God. 19 points off the bench for Benedict Mathurin. And when you're starting, again, you got Donovan Mitchell 15 of 30, but when you're starting Dean Wade and you're Kenny Atkinson with all the other injuries, because again, no DeAndre Hunter, no Darius Garland, probably not going to do so well. That's just me being honest with you. Ty Jerome, 1 of 14. He couldn't play any worse. 2 points. Max Strus, 23, 8 of 18. But Ty Jerome was awful in that one, and the Cavs only lost by 1. Again, you can say only lost by 1 considering playing that bad, but Pacers are going back home for 2, and they're already up 2-0. Gotta think they get at least 1 in Indiana, don't you? They were only 20-20 on the road this year. Klingberg has got his shot blocked. Tanner Pearson off the drop. This one is just sticked aside by the Edmonton defense off the rush as we just checked back in from the break. Shots are still 9-8. That does not count as a shot on goal. But they were about 2 seconds away from that point for making this a 3-0 game. Tanner Pearson drives it for the left side wing and he leaves it. I believe he was looking for Korchak in off the rush. That one just missed as we get a camera shot of Brett Howden. So that was your Pacers Cavs reset. We'll go across MLB scores. Admittedly, there's been some rainouts. I wanted to take a closer look at the Guardians, see if they split their doubleheader or got swept by the Nats. We get an ice at 409.
Very well. They're all very willing to get the shooting. You just saw it on Tanner Pearson's block. He was right in the lane that blocked that pass by Klingberg, and then top of the races almost became a 3-on-2. But they're going to drive on the offense from those turnovers. For Edmonton, already a turnover or 2 going.
So here's the difference. With 409, we get set to do this face-off for a third time. You know, Toronto had that early lead against Florida. Florida made it a game. I don't see Edmonton as that same type of team, even though they made the Stanley Cup Finals last year and went to 7. That's just me. If you get Vegas this type of lead, I don't think that they're going to relinquish it too much. And I think they got enough of a scare put in them from that Minnesota top line. But what say you? 3:45 left to go in this first. Here's a hit takes out Kulak. A pass from 100. Corey Perry slowly get to the front line. McDavid, drop it up for Perry. He wraps that one in. Corey Perry left unchecked in the big rig from Connor McDavid. He just cashes one in. Now, where was the Vegas defense? My question. Again, I just give them praise and they give up a goal. I'm going to have to see how that materializes again as they finish a big hit in behind for Kulak off the outstretch. Corey Perry just slowly, like quicksand, makes his way to the front of the net. And McDavid's pass, and I'm not sure why. Maybe they all expected him to shoot, but it looks like 3 Vegas Golden Knights were caught napping. That's inconceivable that Corey Perry would be that wide open in front of the net. And as it is, it's 2-1. So Draisaitl gets the secondary from McDavid, and Corey Perry is third of the playoffs. Corey Perry, and I thought Alec Navas said this was a little bit of a time machine there for him as this works in behind the net. Vegas should be up by more than one, but now they've conceded. This one goes just wide off the tip. Might have got a piece of the stick of Calvin Pickard. Sent back in behind the net for Keegan Kolsar. This will go D to D. This will go just wide there from Shea Theodore. Back in behind the net now. Again, Jonathan Marchessault was a long-time Vegas Golden Knight, but he is a member of Nashville. We got one of the higher picks in that draft, no hand in the air. Still able to stay on side. Connor Brown doing some work, getting around the stick lift now. Connor McDavid being double shifted ever since the scoring that goal from Corey Perry and Draisaitl. As this is sent the other way, stolen by Stone. He's got two. Stone might be on the edge of his shift. It's going to be the first to get to it as William Karlsson. He gets braced against the boards by Bouchard. And then this pass was slow, but Edmonton was able to get it at least to the neutral. I don't think they gained the red, but they gave it to him anyway. Aiden Hill. This pass is intercepted across the left side red line. Here's an opportunity. Draisaitl just holds the line and alongside Darnell Nurse, but it's picked off by the Mustard Gold. Try to spin back into their own way. Corey Perry. He will pick this one up onside McDavid. Corey Perry try to wrap his way behind the net. The net's off its moorings, and that's got to stop the play with 92 seconds left.
And again, it's McDavid attacking in the middle, finding Perry, freezes Hill here, and then as Hill, you can see his left arm shove that post. And I mean, that's not a shove off to go back to the right. That's a shove off to get himself back into position. It does come off the boards, no hand went up. They had a case.
As the net went off its moorings, you looked at Aiden Hill. We got that second camera shot. Looks like he did it accidentally on purpose. Either way, it's a D-zone draw. This one won by Vegas, but still contested. Evander Kane waiting in behind the net. He's missed a lot of the year. So you have that line with Brown and that. And now you really have the Edmonton offense at least at full power. But it's really still hard to believe that Corey Perry is playing first-line minutes. He's already got a goal again. Here's a chance right up the gut, too far for RNH. This one's picked off by Nick Hague. His pass ahead. Picked up now for Vegas. And a long shot will be elected off the hold. I believe that one is going to be there from Olsen.
And right there you can see, kind of assist that through. Walman is going down trying to block it. Because it gets through, it's a reaction save for Calvin Pickard, which he makes. But he's kind of holding on, making sure that he has it, because you're only picking it up for that split second. That was because of that quick release through a screen.
Take another draw. Brett Howden will win this one back. Get partially deflected and off of Janmark. Be an opportunity for Olofsson to try to pick this one up now. And alongside Tanner Pearson. Pearson off the spin and turn will leave now for Howden. We'll take this one D to D. It's Noah Hannafin. Hannafin is a knuckleball through the screen. And this will go back and around the end boards. Good intercept and step through by Eichel as he already got back out on the line with 30 seconds left to go in the first. Vegas wants to make sure they at least stay back up by one because they played much better than Edmonton. But here's an opportunity now off of a Hyman drop. This is Evander Kane trying to throw it into the goal now. Taken away by Olsen now. Brandon Saad getting to the stick lift now. Saad splits the defense. bounces it off his skate. He throws it out in front, and this will go all the way down the ice. It's rolling, not far enough for icing. That's going to end the first period. Look for an outstretched pass. It's picked off. Vegas leads after 2-1. Very entertaining period at that. Corey Perry got the one goal for Edmonton, but none better than Mark Stone off that latest drop pass from Eichel. That made it 2-1 after 20. We come back and call the second period. Stay tuned.
Just can't get that puck to settle down. He kicks it up with the right skate. That's a good stick in the last second by Kulak. To not let him have a clean look on Pickard would have been drive up the ice.
The Vegas head coach Bruce Cassidy promised a heavyweight tilt, and sure enough, the feeling out process early. Mark Stone getting a couple goals, a tip in on a power play, and a beautiful finish from Jack Eichel.
This period brought to you by Scotiabank. Enter for a chance to win a trip for four to the Stanley Cup Final. Enter at scotiabank.com/perks. Tomorrow on Sportsnet, Hockey Central sets up the drama on the ice. In Toronto, it's advantage leads. Get a chance to respond? Then, in Winnipeg, shoots. Strapping for this one. Starts Jets Game 1. The Stanley Cup Playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
Now you can get whiter teeth in just one day with Crest City White Teeth Stain Remover, a new revolutionary toothpaste that goes deep to dissolve the bonds of cold stains to teeth. Coffee, wine, tea, gone. It even uses state-of-the-art fraud protection worldwide. So no matter where in the world you are, you can be the traveler you want to be. Your trusted security is right by your side. In life, results matter. You train hard to win the race, study all night to ace the exam, and work long hours to get that promotion. Why? Because results matter. So after a serious car crash, you'll want to hire a law firm that fights to get
So shots on goal, 10-9 Edmonton, 12-10 hits for Vegas, 12-10 face-offs for the Oilers as well. Giveaways 5 for Edmonton, not a ton. Block shots 8-3, but the one they didn't block was Mark Stone's latest, which had given the Golden Knights the lead. Corey Perry got one back, but it's 2-1 after the end of one. And 2-1 was the final score for Carolina-Washington. They lead 1-0 to the Hurricanes in series as Jacob Slavin scored. Logan Stankoven got the only of the third. Carolina ends up going to OT. Slavin scores 3 minutes in after that. That Alec Nava called that one for us. Pretty good excitement there for his team.
Dean's locked into that free beer. Did he just cheers himself? The pretzels are flowing. Dad's becoming a bear expert. Expect a fact at dinner. And there's Mom putting the fast-free Wi-Fi to excellent use. If I didn't know any better...
So the first game, and I'm looking at this in particular interest, AL Central for me because the Tigers still lead the American League with the best record. Nationals won the doubleheader makeup 10-9 over the Guardians. That was game 1. Guardians do score 1 in the 9th. It was a 6-4 7th inning. Cleveland scored 6 times, 4 for Washington. Washington little fence post scoring all the way through. 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, 4 in the seventh, which was enough. 10 runs on 10 hits.
This first intermission brought to you by Rogers Xfinity. Canada's most
Doubleheader game 2, Guardians won 9-1. So they split the doubleheader. I guess it'll be good enough for the Tigers anyway. At least be able to gain a half a game at least. But it is 1.5 the Tigers lead in the Central because the Guardians just won't go away. 21-15 for the Guardians, 21-16 for the Royals. Tigers are 22-13 on the year with a plus 63 run differential, which is the best in the American League. That is only bested by the Chicago Cubs at the NL Central at 22-14, which still the Tigers have a better record than.
He made sure he communicates and he points so that McDavid doesn't get free. The one shift that Ekholm was not on the ice with McDavid, Klingberg swings this beautiful pass, and you'll see McDavid beat everyone off the ice. Nicholas Waugh can't skate with him. He can't keep up with him, and this is the Corey Perry goal, which was a big one. I don't know what happened there, but that was the only shift I didn't see Ekholm.
So I'll tell you what happened there. So the previous shifts, it was the McDavid line against the Eichel line, then it was Janmark against Hurdle, then it was Nugent-Hopkins against Howden.
Yankees scored 10 runs in the 7th. They smashed the Padres 12-3. Austin Wells hit a grand slam. And Kyle Schwarber ends up helping the Phillies to an 8-4 win over the Rays. He gets his major league leading 12th home run.
goes back up the ice and scores. So that just shows you the one time the Golden Knights slip and they can't get the McDavid line against the Eichel line, Edmonton puts it in that.
Corey Perry, Jake, before you get to Storm, Corey Perry, unreal. Yeah.
So the Jackson Job Chase Doliner matchup is going to be moved till tomorrow, and then there'll be a doubleheader Thursday. It looks like for the Tigers. Be at 3:10.
It's maturity.
That one's listed as Casey Mize and Kyle Freeland. So you think the Tigers should be able to at least take all three games. I didn't even want to say 2 or 3. You got to take all three against the Rockies, because the Rockies only have 6 wins in the season. They're 6-28, and then the 640 game, they don't have starters listed just yet.
What is it about that shot and release, and maybe even the stuff that fools everybody?
Yeah, so Stone actually, it's tough to tell from a distance, but he's a really short blade in comparison to most players. And when he,
Mariners are up 2-1 right now against the A's. A's did get that win, I believe, I want to say in the 11th, because when I was typing up the story that they were still playing, Andres Munoz had the bases loaded and no outs, and then ended up punching out the side because Cal Raleigh, I think, got a BS call for catcher's interference. I didn't see it at all, but Mariners did end up winning that. If the Athletics get another win, they would have more wins than the Mariners. They wouldn't quite, I don't think, be in first place because of the games differentials, but it'd be awfully damn close. And I don't think anybody expected the Athletics at this point in the year to be 20-16.
Sure. If we, let's do this. Here's Frederick right here.
yeah, so this puck comes right up here. Look at that quick release. You know,
And one last update I'll have for you.
Talked about that earlier. Depth was important, but you know, you'll see a lot of better.
I told Alec I was taking the T-Wolves for game 1. I did mention the Pacers, so I feel good about that, but it looks like I'm going to be half of my predictions because Golden State's smacking the heck out of the Wolves. 22-8 second quarter. And they said that there was going to be some injuries. I don't see that there. I don't know what the analysts were talking about. Steph Curry, 5-9, 13. Draymond's got 16. Draymond is probably bullying Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle.
So in the Stanley Cup, there was a key moment in Game 7.
Edwards is 0 of 8 in 19 minutes. That's your answer right there. We're going to watch the end of the second, and then I'll flip back.
Minute 17 left. Buddy Hield knocks down the first free throw. What performance? Hield in Game 7 in Houston Sunday. 33 points, 9 made threes. Takashi DiVincenzo's Game 7 3-point made record.
Steph Curry is just left in the second quarter with a hamstring strain. He will not return. So that's going to change some things for the Warriors. And it'll give the Timberwolves an opportunity to get back into this game. They really need to. So Steph's final line, 13 minutes, 13 points, and 5 of 9. That's going to be more Gary Payton experience, I would imagine, and maybe Moses Moody to play some point guard duties.
Don't miss a playoff moment with the NBA app. Download the app today for the latest scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes access to all the drama. This crowd trying to help out their superstars. Knocks it down. The encouragement from the home fans. Anthony Edwards finally in the box score his first point of the game. As we go under a minute. Oh, buddy, he stops the basket. Gobert there for help. Gobert on the block. Here come the Wolves. Edwards with Pick on it. Finds DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo drives. Shot. And that one's in. That's a top finish for DiVincenzo there.
playmaker. Hayden. Daniels keeps his feet on the ground. Holds the discipline on defense right now. 3 quarters and air ball from here, finding out he's, but Jimmy Butler with his 5th offensive rebound of the half, able to put it down. Warriors lead is 13. They've gone +3 with Curry in the locker room.
Interestingly, anything over 10 minutes front the ball on his last possession.
Now Butler with a steal. Butler heaves it up. And that'll take us to the end of the first half. A rough fight here in game 1 of this best-of-7 second round.
Minnesota scored 31 in the first half, lowest this season, regular season, in the playoffs. And Anthony Edwards is 0 of 8, 0 of 3 from 3, and 1 of 2 at the line for 1 point. He's got 7 rebounds, 2 steals, only 1 turnover, but he has not scored, and he didn't want the ball.
Hi, I'm Gemini.
Okay, can we talk about this one?
I'll be right back.
Just add it and we'll talk. Can you take a look at this giant hole? That hole is easier to repair than it looks.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting make and unique protection for that.
Flip back into the future game here. Looks like we're just in time here for the second period, so it'll be good. So let's get going here for the start of the second period as we're getting our camera shots. Paul Coffey, Mark Stone on the other side for Vegas. 2-1 lead. Mark Stone is the one that should get the propensity of the camera shots. He's got two. One of the power play ones. Eichel got a previous point in the last one off of the shot fake and the wait out was a beautiful goal. Corey Perry ended up scoring the other way. It looks like the Vegas defense got discombobulated. That's being nice. Here's a wrister down the slot. This one went up a stick shot, maybe even off the post for Aiden Hill, as this will be shot through the deflection, and Nick Waugh able to get a hand on it for a moment, just far enough for the mustard goal to go right to left. Send this one around the end boards. Darnell Nurse gets braced up against the gut. Henrique will throw it around the end boards now for Trent Frederick. Back alongside for Janmark. Janmark now one more time for Nurse, who was stuck pinched in. He coughs it up, and that shot goes just wide. Hits the glass and behind the net of Calvin Pickard. It's a race the other way. Be an opportunity for Connor Brown to use his speed to get some positioning. He gets reverse hit, stays on his feet. One more touch pass from Walman, looking for McDavid, and he whistles it up in the netting, up and on a play. 18:56 in the second.
It's a little knuckler that finds its way over the blocker off the bar, and Brown is first to the puck, around the world, and he finds McDavid for a good chance coming in there.
Jake Walman will get his pass on to Evan Bouchard. Bouchard stuck in behind the net now as Vegas desperate to get it out of their own end. Here's a one-handed stick shovel, and it was a pass looking for one of the Golden Knights who instead went to the bench, so that's going to be an ice. Jake Walman able to get there easily at 18:39 in the second. Shot board now reads 11-10 for the Oilers, but it's of note as they put in there. Henrique hit the post. You had Trent Frederick hit the post 2 times. Edmonton could have made it maybe a 3-2 game, but it's 2-1. Vegas still with the lead against Stone, Carlson, and Theodore, and then Stone and Eichel, Corey Perry, McDavid, and Draisaitl as your set from goals and assists. Here's a one-on-one the other way, and Will Carlson gets it sticked away toward the left side red line, and then Golden Knights enter off sides. That at 18:27 in the middle frame. John, here with you on the solo call. I'm watching the CBC Sportsnet side of it as we're in T-Mobile Arena, Sin City in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, I'd like to mention that I've been there before. I watched the Red Wings beat the Golden Knights. I saw all the festivities and this and that. They do have one hell of a home ice advantage, and the cheerleaders and the Ice Angels and everything else. It can be one hell of an atmosphere. It's a lot of fun, but I think all the party landscape and all that stuff for Vegas, everybody's gotten used to that now. You just got to get used to the fact that these teams are really good. Face-off tie-up is probably one of the most unconventional I've seen. It took 5 players to separate the puck, and now Evander Kane gets closed off near the right side boards. Kane trying to get his own chip and chase now, but this will be with Vegas. Kolesar turns it over for a moment. He'll get it right back. A little bit of a fumble of the puck there for Brandon Saad. He will intercept near the players' bench toward the left side blue line. Now rolling puck. Be taken the other way. Evander Kane. A little dipsy doodle off the drop. And this should be easy enough for Vegas to send it all the way back. Again, they're just not connecting on some passes here. And the second that they should is that was too far for Keegan Kolsar. Vegas going to get some defensive reinforcements on the fly. Connor McDavid off a half spin. Keeps it off the backhand. What a feed as this goes toward the right side. Dot McDavid was cutting his way back door. Have to pick it up now. He gets a little positioning toward the left side red line. Sends it back around the inboards as the ref shows their hops. This is stick to side there by Vegas as the crowd was getting loud. They like when McDavid gets pushed off a puck, as they should on the road. Here's a drop and alongside for Bouchard, who was entering. Back now for McDavid as he holds the point. This is Bouchard toward the left side red line. Back up behind the net of Aiden Hill. Bouchard still trying to find it to use the stick reach. He can't do so. McDavid tries to pivot ahead and off the rush. And this will go back now for Brett Kulak. One hand in behind the cage of Calvin Pickard. Not a lot of shots to tell you about in the second. I think just one for Edmonton, and one of them also kissed the post. 16:40 left to go in the middle frame, and now Edmonton enters offside.
Another good shift here by Edmonton. It shows you how difficult it is to find some traction against Vegas. And here's this attempted clear into the zone, and it catches Hyman in the right hand and under the cup. And Nugent's in distress going back to the bench. This is a pretty good pop by Whitecloud on McDavid, always a target. And when you get your chance to get
Good camera shot from Sportsnet showed Zach Whitecloud clean up the mess for Connor McDavid, and that's what put the fans to their feet. Send back around now for Aiden Hill. Try to take this from the left side red line for Vegas to go left to right in this period. Pearson and Olofsson. No combination play. Here's a spinner on good rub out there toward the right side boards and alongside for Ty Emberson. Emberson now will play his backhand for Darnell Nurse. Nurse rolling puck just gets outside the zone for Vegas. They'll recollect on their own back skate across the red line. As this will be sent in now. Emberson. They could play a back pass to that Solipod Colson, former Canuck. And this will be pushed ahead. Mattias Janmark. He throws a feed across, and Aiden Hill will hold the goal line. He'll make the save, as that was a good space there for Arvidsson as he went right to the net, but Aiden Hill able to keep that one clean.
And right here gets a nice piece of the centering pass by Janmark and deflects it right into Hill. For Aiden Hill, he knows he is in position and it just gets inside his pass, but he closes that up and just holds his ground right on the line. And you can see the puck there as he's covered it.
Offensive zone draw win here for Edmonton. 15:50 left to go in the second. This will be picked up now and off the drop for Connor Brown. Here's a wrister. This one hit one of the Edmonton players out in front. They'll recollect toward the right side dot. Swim back around the inboards. Henrique gets pasted in behind the net of Hill. Nick Hague stuck in his own end. His clearing attempt just gets outside the zone. Walman couldn't hold it in. And alongside with John Klingberg. Still can't believe he's playing second line minutes. Here's a chance. Hill makes the save. This one bounces over the net of his glove hand. This picked up now for Kulak. Somebody lost his stick. It's Nick Waugh without a piece of lumber. He tries to brace a hit it against the boards. It'd be a good work there for Vegas to get it out, but are we going to get a penalty? Is the question. 15:06 in the second. Looks like maybe. I think one of the Edmonton Oilers, but let me just hold on for a moment and I'll give you the call definitively.
Who's also in the front of the net. Hill has to get back quickly on the first shot by Brown, and that's why he doesn't handle. This one goes up over top and on the ensuing play. This is the penalty here.
So I look for Nick Waugh. Oh, he's got a hold in on the hands. He doesn't have a stick. That's what allowed Vegas to clear it up. So hold with no lumber. Bruce Cassidy's not going to like that. Just one penalty aside for both teams. But the Oilers now get an opportunity on the power play to tie this game a dose. And that's right at 15:06. So we're going to see that heavy dose of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You know it well. Again, we covered enough of these Edmonton games. I don't try to belabor the point as much as the Calgary Flames because we cover that a lot more. But Edmonton, we already know what they're going to do. This is an opportunity to double shift that line. You can go with Vander Kane if you want to in the mix. Probably stay with Corey Perry on the first line because he's already scored one. Jack Eichel needs to win this against Leon Draisaitl. He'll do so very clean. Power play percentage for the Oilers is at 38%. That is second in the playoffs. As this is picked up now for Evan Bouchard. He lost it for a moment off the crisscross. 15 seconds have expired. And Edmonton zone in. Again, they're in the road whites with the blue pants and the orange striping. Here is McDavid off the spin near the right boards. He'll try to leave it alongside for Bouchard, and that was just smacked down the ice by VGK. Bouchard now for Pickard and off the drop. Here's McDavid trying to take this one racing across center ice. Nugent-Hopkins fakes the pass. Bouchard cross ice feed. Here's McDavid right in off the bumper, right past Hill. This goes in behind the net, one-timer, and this is saved by Hill off the side of the net and then cleared out by Vegas. This one is into the players' bench, heads up over there to all the broadcasters. I think this will come back in the offensive zone, but no penalty against VGK. That was pretty good work for Draisaitl. That was a dangerous feed and a good save for Aiden Hill. And the clearing attempt for Theodore was near the players' benches. It got near the broadcast side piece of it, so thankfully, hopefully everybody could duck down there because that was a knuckle sandwich coming toward that side. 11 of 12 in the playoffs scored at even strength from McDavid. That's about as good as it gets when you get there because you don't want to just be a power play merchant. You know you can do everything. Bouchard one-timer, that one missed it all, but that was at 92 miles an hour. As this will get flipped back down the ice by Vegas. Calvin Pickard slowly stopping him behind the net, lead for number 97. He's no stranger going coast to coast. We'll make this outstretched pass now for Draisaitl. We'll nudge this one to Nugent-Hopkins, cross ice near the left side, dot in off the lift. And Edmonton going to be able to get there first. There's no Mustard Gould in sight. And off the drop now for Bouchard. He's got this in the high slot. This is Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl still patient with it. RNH. Try to touch him, McDavid. To the left side, his left-handed shot. He's still surveying on his back skate. And that same spot, fans on a partially gets it back. Here's the spin and turn. This is when McDavid turns on the burners, but he got closed off near the right side boards. 15 seconds left to go on the first man advantage. Good pass there for Pickard. This is off the drop now for Hyman. This shot gets blocked. And Vegas sends it down the ice. That killed the penalty. That was a pretty good pass for Pickard to set up Draisaitl looking for McDavid, but that shot got blocked. Got a piece of Hyman, got down the ice. Jake Walman with a backhand pivot. Helps get this one down. Into the zone for Aiden Hill. Henrique now. And off the left side bumper. This kept in by Walman off the pinchers. A slap pass that goes wide of the left side red line. William Karlsson braces for a hit. Trying to look for Jack Eichel. Gets the steal for a moment for Arvidsson. Falling down. Edmonton able to make the play at the line. That was John Klingberg. If he didn't do so, that would have been a break for Vegas. Shea Theodore. He needs help. Lost the handle inside the backboards. Braden McNabb. Try to pick it up now. Rolling puck, Nick Waugh. Excellent job to chip that out of the zone by himself. He'll just take a change. Shopboard now reads 17-10 for Edmonton, so it says that they've controlled that second period. Just be speared out of the air for Aiden Hill. This will slow it down for Braden. Braden has a lot of pressure behind him as the forecheck for Kris Knoblauch's squad's been unrelentless. Edmonton was throwing it all the way down. This will force a full sail clear in an ice. So good work there by that forecheck. They'll get an offensive zone draw because of it.
Rogers Xfinity. Get Canada's most reliable internet.
Really pushing here for McDavid. He picks this puck up with speed. And right here when he drops this puck, it's a shot block.
So because of that pressure, I already saw McDavid coming back out on the ice for this offensive zone draw. So he had about a 30-second rest. They're going to go back to line numero uno here with Draisaitl taking the draw. McDavid's on the right wing, Corey Perry on the left. 12 minutes left to go in the second frame. Mark Stone with a pair of goals. Corey Perry's got the only one for Edmonton. One of those for Stone was in the power play. Edmonton just didn't score on theirs. They're 0 for 1, 1 for 2 Vegas. As this will be intercepted on the interior by Keegan Kolsar. Kolsar now will gain this across center ice for Brandon Sato. Brace for contact with the offhand. As this will be knocked away. Kulak trying to push it ahead for Connor McDavid. McDavid gets the steal. It's been a long shift for him. It's a great pass for Bouchard. Behind the back feed for Draisaitl toward the left side red line. And the Golden Knights will chip this off the glass. Kolsar. A little bit too far for Tomas Hertl. I haven't called his name in a while. As this one sent him behind the inboards, Calvin Pickard's going to stop it. Draisaitl. He's got it. Racing up the gut. We're almost halfway through this regulation. Here's a one-timer Darnell nurse that gets blocked off of White Cloud. White Cloud's pass. Not a bad one. Tanner Pearson gets a chance to stop this one left side red line, and Vegas gains the entry. There will be a drop down alongside for Darnell Nurse, intercepted by the former St. Louis Blue and Pearson. Pearson will battle it toward the right side depth. Couple of hits. Emerson gets roughed out, and this will be sent back down the ice. No icing, says the Zebra. So Zach Whitecloud, little pass from 100. That'll be an opportunity to the left side line off the backhand for Olofsson. Here's a shot that goes wide, and Pickard was never in the goal crease. That was toward the right side post. Here's opportunity. Korchak at the line. 5-hole stop now for Pickard as he'll hold on. The 10:27 left in the second. We might get set to be taking a break here, but we'll get a camera shot for Victor Olofsson as he got around Frederick. He sent that through the goal mouth. Jack Eichel was the one that lifted it high. Let's take a pause.
Join us for McHappy Day on Thursday, May 8th.
A bit too invested in your favorite team? We get it. Not sure if you've invested enough for your future? We got you. Get investments, insurance, and advice from someone who gets you.
Introducing Rogers Xfinity, with internet that handles it all.
Awesome. I'll be right back.
Built for more devices.
Okay. What if I crash into the window?
That's genius. Let's do that.
Excellent.
So Keanu can do everything.
Minnesota Timberwolves in their game are shooting 0 for 16 from distance. That is absolutely atrocious. The Warriors, even without Steph Curry for the rest of this game, who was injured in that second quarter, are 12 of 26 from distance, 46%, which is very, very good. They've only been at the line 4 times. The Timberwolves will win the line 6 times as this game continues to speed through. They'll be way done with their game by the time this one even ends. So I know you got to take everything with a grain of salt because I'm watching this between CBC and Sportsnet, so they're going to give you the home version there for the Oilers. But it has been a better second period for them, but still not enough. As Billy gets some of those dangerous opportunities as Evander Kane will send this one down the ice to be iced against the Oilers. So they've gotten the push of play. They just got to get more shots on net. Vegas has done a good job of keeping things clean in front of Aiden Hill. When Vegas is at their best, that is when they do so. Minor penalty against Zach Whitecloud, maybe, says Jack Michaels. So I'm going to see what he did. I haven't got a camera shot there. They haven't shown it on Sportsnet either. So Whitecloud, where's number 2? He gets a trip, maybe, against Hyman. I'd like to see that one again. As we got a stick. Maybe Hyman was kind of walking into that one. As it is, it's probably what you should do on the other side. So Zach Whitecloud going to sit at the box at 9:46, and Edmonton's going to get their second power play. Vegas has had one. That was the double minor, technically 1 for 2. Edmonton doesn't want to go 0 for 2. They want to score right here. Bouchard with the pass across, looking for Corey Perry at the net. Here is RNH. That one goes wide of the left post. Picked up now left side blue line. Here's RNH high slot. Bouchard, one more for RNH near the left up. One-timer Draisaitl and saved by Adin Hill. No traffic out in front. 9:56. Now we're officially halfway through regulation.
Who finds himself in that bumper position for the one-timer. Good save by Hill. So trying some different looks here.
1:42 left to go in the second power play for Edmonton. They're down by a goal, looking for one here. Draisaitl, this one will get tossed up in the air. Settle back down now for McDavid, now to Bouchard. RNH. Bouchard, high slot, slap pass. RNH could walk in and shoot. He doesn't do so. This will be settled back down for Bouchard near the right side bumper. McDavid, right dot. Surveying, goes back to Evan. Evan Bouchard now to Connor. Connor, number 97, gives it across to Draisaitl. Bouchard with a rocket. It's a big save by Hill with the left pad and sent back down the ice. Adin Hill has been pretty good in this second period, especially with some of those chances. That at 100 miles an hour for Bouchard toward the left side red line and sent in. Hill will stop it. This one hard in off the inboards, turns it over. Right to McDavid. He can cruise in. Big save, Hill. Swat dives on it, and McDavid looks up to the sky. Adin Hill now starting to play his best hockey of the postseason in this game in particular. Draisaitl, the blast from Bouchard was stopped by Hill, and then that clearing attempt off the previous looks like it might have got a piece of Corey Perry, who was looking for that tip. McDavid, a little dipsy doodle, and a low shot and a glove save. That's fantastic work for Adin. 9 shots this period for the Oilers, nothing for Vegas. Shot board was 10-10 when we started the second frame. Here's Bouchard up the faceoff win. RNH toward the right side now, picked up McDavid. One more touch pass, it's not out. This was marginally stick to side. RNH battle at the net. Hill, he's holding his legs against the post, and he'll get the whistle.
And you're right, the first pass to Bouchard was off target. He was working that once again. This one pops up on Hyman, the big battle of Adin Hill. He's aggressive into the feet behind it, takes him down right in front of him. Officials lost sight of that puck for a brief second. It was whistled down. Ball still a little bit up for grabs, but I think because Hyman had fallen right down, almost on top of Hill, that whistle was dropped pretty quickly. Kris talking about the improvement Edmonton's made over the last 2 years. Is more guys play like that. Before it was just Hyman. Cassidy talked about Redmond, the close-sized guys that are going to bother his goaltender.
So I mentioned Vegas does not have a shot on goal just yet. 11-0 in this period for Edmonton. Hill with a couple of sparkling stops. Slapper by Bouchard and McDavid. 8:30 left to go in the second. Draisaitl. 15 seconds left to go on the second man advantage here for Edmonton. Off the spin and turn, McDavid. It's turned away. We'll have to leave this one now for Bouchard. They spent that whole line out there, that top line for Kris Knoblauch's squad. And McNabb, high off the end glass, will work out well. This will give possession to Vegas. Whitecloud out of the box. They'll leave it off a drop. Here's a chance, and this is blocked in off the Edmonton bodies. Never hit Pickard. Opportunity now. Theodore sends it across. Here's Carlson. He fanned on it for a moment. He falls down and behind the net. This will allow Darnell Nurse to escape with the puck. Will gain the red line. Not sure he did so, but Adin Hill's going to stop it behind his net nonetheless. There for Shea Theodore. Again, no Alex Pietrangelo because of an illness. I don't think he's going to miss extended time, but he won't play this game. Theodore now on alongside for Nick Hague. Outstretched pass. The Vegas fans are booing. I'm not sure why. I missed whatever would have been that play as Darnell Nurse will get it around the inboards off the lead from Pickard. 2-1. No goals in the second period to tell you about. Stone with a couple. Corey Perry with the other. Stone's got a power play marker. Eichel with the latest assist. Sitting around the inboards for Pickard. This shot just wide and alongside for Korchak. Now toward the left side post. Brett Howden tried to get a piece of it for a moment. And Victor Olofsson will chase it down as this will be flipped for McNabb in the corner. Slammed in around the inboards now. Stopped by Hill as this will go 100 feet from the left side red line and sent in. There'll be a race forward now. Jake Walman with one side opposition off the stick from Brandon Saad, who works his way to the net. That was a cross check not called. Fans want a penalty. They're not going to get one. Good steal for Kolesar. Try to send this one off the backhand. Kolesar cutting in the net. And Vegas can't hold it in. That would have been their first pressure of the second period, all told. Edmonton is starting to get a lot of shots. No finish just yet for what they need. Here's an intercept by Saad. Saad trying to make the play for Hurdle. Hurdle will spin. He already got hit across the face with the stick and drew a power play, and Vegas scored out of one of them. Saad and behind the net now trying to leave for Hurdle, but that pass goes too hard and off the inboards. And Evander Kane will flip it down the ice. This is not far enough for icing, apparently. My goodness. Jack Eichel, his pass. Now for Olofsson, who gets pasted against the inboards. 5:55 left to go in the second. This game has been moving along quickly. No goals here in the second. This is a lot less goals than I thought I would have saw. Here's a drop pass. One-timer save Hill. Opportunity now for Waugh. Off a 1-on-4. He needs some reinforcements. Gains the red line. Makes a smart play. At least I thought he did. And that should not be icing. But it's icing against the Vegas Golden Knights. And Nick Waugh is looking at the referee like, are you blind? 5:39 left to go in the second. This will be a D-zone draw for VGK. Yeah, even the Sportsnet side of it is saying that probably shouldn't have been an icing call. When you hear them say that was a blatant miss by the refs. Nick Waugh, here's his wrister. This will kiss the glass. That wasn't a bad opportunity. Just missed the right side post. Zach Hyman off the spin and turn. The shots. Vegas only has one, and Edmonton's got 13 as far as the shots on goal. But Aiden Hill has been pretty good in this second period. It's been his best period of hockey in the playoffs really this whole year at this point. Henrique will send this one back down for Aiden Hill. Zach Whitecloud touch it for a moment. Whitecloud was busted for a trip. That was one of the two power plays for Edmonton in this period. Technically the same amount off the double minor, which Vegas scored one there first from Mark Stone. McDavid, like the Kulak rolling puck, just kept in. Outstretched stick doesn't hit Kulak, and this shot goes way wide. I thought he was going for an intentional deflection, but he just missed the net. Kulak now high slot. Here's McDavid with the left side dot back to Brett. Connor McDavid with a touch pass. Will have to spin around. McDavid beats his man toward the left side red line, still trying to survey. Little inside out McDavid still with it as he pinballs it toward the right side boards. Emberson. Now Kulak. Kulak with a shot. This one stings Whitecloud and off the skate. Back to Connor near the left side dot. Now to Brett Kulak. This goes back around for Emberson toward the right side dot. Good puck movement and zone time for Edmonton, but they need a finish. McDavid's pass doesn't hit anybody. That just sailed. And he, disgusted with himself, goes back to the bench. 4 minutes left to go in the second. Edmonton's been a lot of shots on goal this way in the second period, but it's still 2-1. Sending around the inboards now for Aiden Hill. This will stop it for Braden McNabb. McNabb as he gets knocked in the air for a moment for William Karlsson. Karlsson's pass off a 1-on-2, and this will be wristed into the corner. Vegas only has one shot on goal in this period, but the score line is still 2-1. Mark Stone with a big hit. Here's Karlsson. He fans on it as he gets stick lifted by two Edmonton players. And sent in around the inboards, left side red line, Draisaitl. Hill slows it down and alongside for Nick Hague. 3:15 now left to go in the second. There's a long outstretched pass. This will be recollected by Karlsson. Looks behind him, brace for contact for Evan Bouchard off the pin. Jake Walman now trying to join in on the fun. Mark Stone will watch this go toward the right side red line. Turnaround chance for Hurdle. He lost it Opportunity for Evander Kane trying to turn on whatever burners he's got left. And we'll get a whistle with 2:55 in the second. We'll get a neutral zone draw. Your latest update, the Warriors still playing even with the Timberwolves in the third, 18-16, the scoreline of that third, 62-47 in totality, with 5:29 left to go in the quarter.
Okay.
Steph Curry, again, injured in the second. He will not play the rest of the game, 13 minutes for him, 13 points plus 10, 5 of 9 shooting. And Charles